In a thriving democracy, the right to protest is fundamental. For Nigeria, this right holds profound importance. Therefore, the official opposition to the planned August 1 End Bad Governance in Nigeria protest, frankly, I must say, is counterproductive. Protests are a vital expression of democratic rights. They allow citizens to air out their opinions, grievances, and demands collectively and effectively. In Nigeria, where political, economic, and social issues often go unaddressed, protests provide a platform for the discontented to make their views heard. This active participation is germane for a healthy democracy, ensuring that the government remains responsive to the needs and desires of the people. On Viewpoint, where we discover perspectives and embrace dialogue, I have with me Precious on the show, who will actually be underscoring the need for protest, serving as a powerful check and balance on governmental powers, reminding elected officials, I beg your pardon, that they are accountable to the people. Precious, could you give us an account briefly before we go into the next phase of the show, your encounter during the NSAS protest? Because we know protests actually should serve as a reminder that the elected officials are actually there to serve.
Yes. Okay. Last 4 years, October 10, 2020, I was actually there at the venue for the NSAS protest that they had. But a spirit, in that in our body we have to spirit. The
So
one
you
that
can
will tell
see
you,
your right up
the one
there
that will
on
tell
the
you,
NSAS,
yes,
right?
the one that will tell you go, or the one that will tell you do something bad. So I just went home that evening, only for me to get home, and I started seeing DJ Sweet live saying they're shooting at the masses, they're shooting and all of that, and I was like, God, I was there when he started shooting. Where do I want to go? It was actually funny that my mom had to go to church that Sunday to give Thanksgiving in church that, thank God my daughter is still alive, because if I was still there when the shooting and everything, what would have happened? I would not be here today.
So that means you're a living testament for today's show.
It's God.
Well, the show is still Viewpoint, where we discover perspectives and embrace dialogue. You do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us across various social media platforms. Join us in the next phase of the show. Welcome back to the show. The show is still Viewpoint, where we discover perspectives and embrace dialogue. I have with me Precious, like I said earlier on. Precious, you will agree that Nigeria's history is actually replete with instances of public demonstrations, right from the colonial era, even down to the recent one which you mentioned in the first phase of the show, the NSAS protests. Nigerians have repeatedly taken to the streets to voice out their grievances and, of course, demand justice. We have the recent one which have been running from Showore, publisher of Sahara Reporters, concerning Revolution Now.
Yes.
And that one is still ongoing. You will agree that we must actually learn from the NSAS protest that it shouldn't actually be violent, but at least the message should actually be communicated. What do you have to say concerning now this recent protest, which is likable to be or not to be, concerning End Bad Governance protest?
Well, like you said the masses, we citizens, we are expressing our grievances. Because to me, I won't go out there to protest if I don't have a reason for protesting. You all know how the economy is right now. The hardship is too much. People are suffering. So, and the funniest thing is our leaders are not doing anything about it. This was the same way NSA started that year, because it started with them protesting online. It started online first. And what did the government do? They only came out to change SARS to SWAT. And it was the same thing. So it's not like we wanted the protest, they wanted it to be removed totally. There should be no SARS, there should be no, because why would I be walking on the road, or maybe I'm driving a car and you stop me on the road and the next thing I should be on my phone. Probably you see my account balance and start asking me, why do you have this amount of money in
when
your
in
account?
fact there's a total difference between privacy and secrecy.
Yes, it's not
now
supposed
someone's
to be.
phone now is actually his or her private property.
Exactly.
And actually the police officers should actually need a warrant, not necessarily for the house alone, but also for the phone.
Yes, you don't just stop me on the road and tell me to open you want to see my messages, or you want to see my bank account, and next you tell me that I should transfer money to. Why? They use this as a means to extort money from these people, and which was why as at then they had enough. And most of the artists then came out. They gingered the youth to come outside to protest that they will not agree. We will not agree. And only for our government, the leaders, instead of them to, okay, now what can we do? Should we eradicate this, or should we do this? They only just have to send soldiers that are meant to be on the battlefield, protecting us or finding way to bring back our Chibok girls. Then instead they went there and they started shooting innocent people
Okay, now
for no reason.
this actually was an internal crisis,
Yes.
and soldiers are actually meant to protect
They
territorial
were not send the
integrity.
soldiers, our leaders. Yes, they sent them, and only for them after everything, your governor they came and he said nobody died. That the people that came to shoot, they were unknown gunsmen. How? In this same country that we are, they are the one.
So will you liken end bad governance to NSAS? Because whether we like it or not, NSAS had to do with ending police brutality.
Yes.
And end bad governance that has to also do with the government in place, which is actually manning the police force. All this all encompassing. Will you say they are similar or they are totally distinct from each other?
They are similar. They are similar because if people actually know, as at today now, we already notice that people are already backing out from this. And if everybody come out with full force, I don't feel that this project is going to be worse more than what happened in NSAS.
Okay, if it's actually going to be more than NSAS, we will say now that because this protest now has been characterized as a youth-led protest because it's emanating from social media. We're still coming to that aspect of social media, generating a momentum. Now, being a youth-led protest, we will say that some of the youths, particularly the Lagos State youths, we will see that image popping up right now, who are actually backing out. Is it because Lagos State has been, since time immemorial, been a particular state-owned party from the ACN, the AC, and now the APC? They are now withdrawing now from the protest. Is it because now the administration currently is an APC administration and they are so gullible, tilting towards what they can get in terms of benefits?
Well, I'll just say many of them, they are cowards. Majority of them are backing out because, okay, probably the fear of what the government will do if they support the protest or they support the license. So, and most of them, they've taken bribe. Probably they've settled them behind the scene. So that's the majority of them are backing out from the protest.
Actually, let's go over to the Constitution and what actually it states concerning protest. Section 40 of the 1999 Constitution guarantees every citizen's right to assemble freely and also express himself and associate with others, airing his views or opinion. Now, despite now these constitutional assurances, the right to protest in Nigeria has always faced challenges. That now comes in whereby the government deploys the army or the police force to assert force which is not necessary on people. Now, what's your take on this?
I feel it's wrong. Nigeria, our leaders, we go against what's on the Constitution. Like they are contradicting what's in the Constitution. The Constitution said, okay, everybody has the freedom to assemble and protest, to voice out your problem, to express your grievances. But it's just a pity that our leaders, the government as a whole, like they need reorganization and whatever because they don't follow what we have in the Constitution. And me, I feel the government are actually scared that we are planning a coup or something. They don't want the military to take over. So that's why they are trying every means to stop. This is so it will not hold. Because now, as of tomorrow, some people will protest, definitely. Some people will come out to protest tomorrow. And I don't know if you saw as of 6 days ago, Tinubu met with some of the traditional rulers. And what did he do? Only for us to see a press release and say they are saying that Oro will start from tomorrow to 10th.
For our viewers out there now, what will you call Oro?
Oro is a time where all those fetish, should I say gods, when some of the gods come in the night. I've not seen it actually, but when I went to make
that means it's diabolically fetish.
Yes,
okay, I think we should leave it at that. Let's focus on the constitutional assurances now. Okay. Now, the constitutional assurances now actually is talking about Section 40, which guarantees citizens must have a right to vote and assemble. Now, does this constitution also stipulate that also people who tend to hijack these protests, just as the NSAS was hijacked and we had the prisons all over the country and even storehouses which were broken into, how would that now be curbed?
I don't know if you know that these people hijacking the protests, they are actually people sent from the government. You are aware, right?
So it therefore means that mercenaries were hired?
Yes.
Okay.
They bring them in to hijack this so that in case they arrest people or they arrest innocent youths, they will have something to say that they did this. That's what we are doing. Like, you get. They won't just come to shoot or this without any reason. So them hijacking it, they pay people to come and create nuisance so that they will have every reason to say that, okay, these people, they destroyed places, they did this, that's why we did this. They are justifying.
It's a case of justifying ill actions with the guns, and then disseminating ill actions with the media.
Yes.
Okay, you may
That's
proceed.
what they are doing.
Okay. Now, coming back to the end SARS, rather the end bad governance, because both are interwoven. The end bad governance trend. The governors, we are coming to this Oro, which you mentioned now. The governors, ministers, APC stalwarts, because they are in power now as we speak now, monarchs, religious leaders, and even the presidency has also ordered the youth-led protesters to sheath their swords and also back down. We've seen those from northern states like Niger who actually started as a 30th yesterday, and also some other people from Lagos who have backed down. But on the part of Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde, he has actually attributed the protests to widespread hunger and anger. Even at that, as he has said now, should we be responsible to his claims, or who's actually responsible to the claims, if you will align with that? That's what I'm trying to ask.
Yes, I actually agree with what Seyi Makinde said. Like the Constitution already stated rightly, we all have the freedom to assemble and express our grievances. And what we expect from the government is to listen to us and see how they can prefer solutions to this trouble. But instead, the government that they are pressing us down. They don't want to do anything. I don't know if you are aware that the government has used 6 billion naira they bribe people with 6 billion naira to go out there to say no to the protest that is happening tomorrow. Is that what they are supposed to do? A pint of beans right now is 12,500. Even Gary, that is actually known to be the food for poor men. Many people can't even afford to buy a cup of Gary because everything is expensive.
So, will you now say that right from May 2023 last year, the flotation of the naira and also the removal of the fuel subsidy and other economic crises that actually built up the momentum to this protest is actually making this administration lose focus on a ship that has set sail?
Yes. Yeah, because how will they just bring you in as a president? The first thing you could do was to remove subsidy. And the next thing now, instead of Tinubu to look for something meaningful to do for us or see how he can make this country a better place, next thing he went to change the national anthem. Now we ask, is that the most important thing for him to do? These are all misplacement of priority, because this is actually not what we need right now. He's living out. He's doing things that we probably don't even need at the moment. We don't need all of this. There's no employment. The economy is very bad. As of yesterday, 2 days ago, 1 liter of fuel, 1,300. I know that the increase for 1 liter not to be 1,300. Aside people that even ride bikes, aside all these people that are mobile, even we masses that we use our leg to walk on the road and use public transport, it has caused in the hike of transportation fare. Because if you going out now, a place that will cost you 200 naira, you end up spending about 400, 500 naira just going to that same place. Because what would they tell you? Don't you know they've increased fuel price. So now, how long with these masses? How long are we going to keep smiling and suffering? For how long are we going to be patient? Because they keep telling us to be patient, be patient, be patient. For how long? Is it till we die? For how long is this going to go on?
Okay, conclusively now, I believe you're social media savvy. The Facebooks, the Twitters, the TikToks. The momentum is actually building up, and today is the 31st.
Yes.
I want to ask, on a scale of, let me say, survey or the polls being put out there, is it likely to take place, the protest on the 1st of August, or is it not likely to take place?
It should take place. But the only thing is the force that they wanted to come with it. It might not be, before I said it might be worse than NSAS.
Okay.
NSAS. But I don't know if you know that some people are already backing out. And as a result of that, many people will not come out. It has reduced the numbers drastically. So it depends though. Funny enough, I feel many people will come out. Okay. The protest will hold.
On the part of because we are still leaving out one stakeholder, which is actually key in the whole demonstrations, the security operatives here. We're talking the DSS, Department State of Services. Then we also have the police now, IG in particular, who has also warned about the protest not metamorphosing or turning into a Kenyan-like protest. But peradventure, it turned into a Kenyan-like protest. On your own part, will you support it?
Yes.
You will support it?
Yes.
Will you like to partake?
I wish I could.
But do you see that happening in Nigeria now?
It depends on how the government is going to handle the situation. No? Because me, I feel the DSS, they should not do it. This should not be a second or a part two of the NSAS protest. They should send the police and DSS. They should go there to protect these citizens so that thugs won't hijack the protest from them. Because I feel if we masses protest peacefully, it won't become the Kenyan thing. But if they decide to use force, it's going to be bloody.
What if there's a compromise now on the part of the security operatives now? Do we still rely on them for being credible, for protecting us?
We just say that no, we can't rely on them because those people.
Well, we've heard it from Precious Momodu, who has actually been breaking down the protest right from the NSAS period. Not that other protests haven't taken place back then since time memorial, right from 1929, the About Women's Riots, the Funmilayo Ransom Kuti protest, just to mention a few historically speaking, even up till now. The most important thing is that when protests are being held, there are actually demonstrations to actually make sure that grievances are being heard and they are attended to. In a country where corruption and abuse of power are persistent, challenges protests can deter governmental overreach and foster transparency. Nigerians have been confronted actually with unprecedented hardships since the Tinubu administration, cancelling of the petrol subsidy in May 2023 and the flotation of the Naira just the following month. But as Nigeria evolves, it is essential to protect the rights, ensuring that every Nigerian can actually raise their voices without fear of retribution. The show has been Viewpoint, where we discover perspectives and embrace dialogue. You do want to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us across various social media platforms. Thanks for watching.